on to graphing, everyone's favorite subject. So I'm going to look at these first as equations, then I'm going to look at them as inequalities and shade. So the first one, I have x minus 2y is equal to negative 4. So I need to find my x-intercept. So x equals negative 4. Then my y-intercept, negative 2y equals negative 4. So y has to be 2. So negative 2 times 2 would give me negative 4. So go up. 0, 2 is my y-intercept. And then my second equation, I'm going to do the same thing. X equals 4. I'm going to cover up y, my x-intercept. And then 2 times 2 would give me 4. So they're the same y-intercept. And then the line y equals 4. So it has a y-intercept at 0, 4, and then it just flat lines. So I have a flat line at 4. And then I need to connect my 2 points. And then on this side, and so I'm going to use the origin to see if I'm going to be above or below my lines. I know I'm going to be below my horizontal line. I just got to figure out where I'm going to shade on these diagonal lines. So if I look at the first one, if I put in 0, 0, I'd have 0 minus 2 times 0 is still 0, less than negative 4. So I get 0 is less than negative 4. That is not a true statement. So I'm not going to shade below this line. So I'm shading above. I'll just draw an arrow because I don't want to keep shading and shading and shading. And then so the next one, if I use the origin at 0 plus 2 times 0 is 0 is greater than 4. 0 is not greater than 4, that's not true, so I'm not going to shade below this line. So if I shade above this one, and above this one, but below this one, they overlap in this region. And you can check this on Desmos. On the test, you're not going to have it in standard form, so they're going to be a little bit easy to graph. This one was slightly easy to graph, but just using the calculator, you would want to get it into y equals form, like slope-intercept form. And then 16, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to look at them as equations first. 2x plus y equals negative 6. So to cover up y, I get 2x is equal to negative 6. So that's going to be negative 3, 0. Then I'm going to cover up x, and so I get y equals negative 6. So it's down here. And I can connect my points. The next one, I'll get x equals 4, and then y is negative 4. So I cover up y. If I cover up y, I just get x equals 4. So if I cover up x, I get negative y equals 4. So that would have to be negative 4. Because the negative of a negative would be positive. And the last one, 5x plus y equals 10. So 5x equals 10. X is going to be 2. And then y equals 10. Then again, I'm going to test the origin to see if I'm going to shade above or below all these lines. So I use the origin. I need to label these first. And then the other one's 5x plus y equals 10. So I'm going to plug in 0, 0. So I get 2 times 0 is still 0. So 0 plus 0 is greater than negative 6. That's true. So for this one, I'm going to shade above. And the next one, x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 4. So if I plug in 0, 0, I'm going to get 0 minus 0, and that's still 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 4. That is not true. So this other one, I'm going to shade below. And the last one I'm going to get 0 plus 0 is less than 10. So I get 0 is less than 10. That is true. So for this one, I'm going to shade above. No, I'm sorry, below, because 0, 0 is below that line. So below. So if I'm below this line, above this line, and below this line, I'm trapped here. Oh man, I messed up. These are supposed to be dashed. Saved it. So these are dashed. These are not equal to. The only one that was equal to was a second one. So that means that every single point along this line we don't care about. Because it's not going to give us, these points along here would give us the equal to. But since it's not equal to, we just have a dashed line. So the only time we have a solid line is when we have the equal to. So 17, these just says write the system for inequalities. Don't solve. So it says that he wants to mow at most 9 lawns. So mow is at most, so you want it less than or equal to 9. And then rake at most 7 lawns. So rake at most, so it's going to equal to, but it could be less than 7. Then he charges $20 for mowing, $10 for raking, and he wants to make more than $120 in 1 week. So together, he's mowing and raking and earning money. So 20m plus 10r is greater than or equal to 120. Ooh, that's not equal to. It just says more than. Then 18, this girl works at a pharmacy for $15 an hour. She babysits for $10 an hour, and she needs to earn more than $90 per week. But she doesn't want to work more than 20 hours per week. She's got some problems. So 15, the pharmacy, 10, babysitting, and she needs to make more than 90. And she doesn't want to work more than 20 hours a week. So the pharmacy plus babysitting has to be less than 20 hours per week. So then the next one, Tony wants to plant at least 20 acres of corn. So that at least it could be equal to or less than. So corn is going to be equal to or less than 40. And then soybeans is going to be equal to or less than 50. And then he has 200 acres to plant. So he could take up the whole space. So corn plus soybeans could equal 200. But it can't be more. So you could plant less than 200, but he just can't plant more. So you have less than or equal to 200. Sorry, 18, she doesn't want to work more than, but she can work 20 hours. So that's going to be equal to. So on these, you could graph and see which one of these points exists in that solution region, like where all the inequalities intersect, the shading overlaps. Or you could look at all these points and plug these in. So look at A, 2, 3. So I put that in. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 times 3 is 6. So I get 6 plus 6 is greater than negative 2. Well, it's a positive plus a positive. It's definitely going to be greater than a negative. So that works out. Then I get 2 plus 2 times 3. So 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 is not less than 2. So A's out. B, I get 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, plus 2 times 1 so I get negative 1 is greater than negative 2. That's right. Then the next one, negative 1 plus 2 is less than or equal to 2. So that's going to be 1. 1 is less than or equal to 2. And then the next equation, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 1. Is that less than 1? So give me negative 3 is less than 1. That works out. So it looks like B is our answer. So there should only be 1, so I'm just going to go with B as our answer. The next one says not. So you need to be careful reading the question and seeing if you have a not in the question. So we're going to go check these and see if any of these do not fit. So the first one, we have these. These are really easy to just check, to eliminate. The first one, x is greater than 1. So x cannot be 1, so a is out. And then y has to be greater than 0. The rest of them have y's that are greater than 0. So we don't care about that. So we're only going to look at these two, since these three satisfy both of the inequalities. So I'm looking at 4 times 2 plus 3 times 2. Is that greater than negative 6? It's going to be 8 plus 6 is 14. Yes, that is greater than negative 6. Then the next equation, 2 minus 3 times 2 is 6. Is that greater than negative 9? Yes. So this one works out. We're looking for a not. Already found it. It's A. Because that one works. And then the rest of these should work. So that's the only one that's a not. This is not a solution. So that one was relatively simple.